And I'm recording. Hi! If y'all are here, this is a quick video that May and I thought of doing where I'm gonna badly explain the Smurfs movies. You ready, May?
Yes, I've been waiting for this.
Okay, so I've not seen The Lost Village, but I'm gonna try to make up an explanation for it. But for the first film, in the first Smurfs film, I believe it's so Clumsy being an idiot and clumsy, and then Gargamel shows up into the village as one does. I mean, naturally, you'd want to eat a Smurf too, right?
Exactly.
Like Gargamel's got a very sympathetic motive, but they show up in the Smurf village, and then and then they're like, "Oh no!" And so they run out, and then there's a portal to the human world of New York City. It was New York, right? Definitely.
Well, you can't have a Smurfs movie without New York.
True. You're right. First thing when I
You can't
think
have
of
a
Smurfs,
hybrid. You can't have a hybrid animated film without.
New York City. Actually, Sonic gets away with it,
Yeah,
but only Sonic.
yeah. Sonic gets away with a lot.
Yeah, Sonic does get a lot with a lot, but
Sonic
so
saved the live action adaptation.
yeah,
Well,
no, I agree with you. Hang on, I'm noticing that I'm getting a watermark for this thing in, so I'm gonna scoop. Uh, oh gosh,
that's not a
the watermark's
the
never.
background.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's funny.
We just
That's
have.
not AI generated, right?
I don't think so. It says Vecteezy.
Okay.
I just grabbed a
'Cause I'm looking
mushroom.
at it and I'm like, I can't tell if it's AI or not.
You never know nowadays.
Yeah.
So they go into the real world, and the Gargoyle is like, "I'm gonna follow you," and I don't think that's how he talks, but
Close enough.
so Gargoyle follows them to the real world, and they find themselves in the house of Neil Patrick Harris, who's an overworked ad executive with a wife who was she pregnant in the first film, or was that a second film? Second film, she's had a kid at that point.
Yeah. It was like the kid from Wonder,
Yeah,
Jacob Tremblay. Which
yeah,
I
that's
forget that he was in that movie.
right. I know. But so they go to the world of New York where they're encountering these two humans, and the whole thing for the Smurfs is they gravitate on this computer. So like as Neil Patrick Harris is hating on the Smurfs, they gravitate towards a blue moon like advertisement. Or like, ooh, this is when we get to leave. Yes, yes. Because when you think
Hmm.
Smurfs, you think blue moon. Because blue. Um,
Yeah. I remember that plot line. That's the only plot line I remember. Something about a moon. Which is kind of interesting for Smurfs.
yeah, I
It's
agree.
interesting they had some magical element to the film.
I mean, yeah, no, I mean it's a magical world, which is so fun. So funny. I always have this memory of watching the Nostalgia Critic review of it a while back when I was a kid. Like
Hmm.
with Black Nerd Comedy was in the video with him, which is funny. I don't know if you ever watched that channel too.
I
Or
don't think so, but
no worries. But so yeah, so they go to New York and they're chilling around New York, right? Waiting for the day, and then Neil Patrick Harris is like, "Please go away, please, please. I don't like you. You're weird." Which fair. They're little blue people that showed up, and the whole thing is he's like, "I'm not ready to have like little blue people around," and his wife's like, "I'm pregnant." Yeah, that was the whole thing. Um,
mm.
they use the Smurfs as a metaphor for an actual baby. That's one of the decisions this movie made. Um, so yeah, and so then they go out to a toy store to try to find some like magic wand thing of sorts because they're trying to get a few components I think for the day. And I remember there's a scene of like Grouchy flirting with an M&M. Do you remember that?
I remember the toy store, but I don't know.
I remember Smurfette being like, "There's fashion here. Oh my gosh." And it's like, yeah, not most people don't live in communist cults. Um,
Exactly. How do you know all this?
I saw this in 2022, so I'm like
Oh,
2 years out of memory about this.
my
So
mind
it's
would still erase it.
I would I needed one of those devices from like Men in Black to clear my mind out of this as is.
You're putting it into my mind to escape your mind. So
Exactly.
I'm taking
It's
on the
called
weight.
it's, ca-
I'm bearing the weight.
it's called thought dumping about the Smurfs. Um,
Exactly.
so okay, so that whole thing happens. Then there's the rock band scene that happens where the Smurfs
Mm.
play rock band on the Wii.
Uh,
Um, and then Katy Perry as Smurfette says, "I kissed a Smurf and I liked it," which is like, you guys don't produce like that. The Smurfs are like, no, Smurf sex has never been a thing. I think, like, yeah. So they're going and stuff, and the whole thing with this movie, right? I think I mentioned earlier, clumsy being clumsy, but there's this big conspiracy, right? Where it's like Papa Smurf's like, "Oh no, clumsy's gonna ruin everything." And so eventually there's a little. Eventually Gargamel captures them all, as one does. And as they're all in the tower, the vision comes to life. But actually, Clumsy saves the day, and they're all like, "Yay, Clumsy! Thank you!" And they all go back to the Smurf village, and Gargamel stays in the real world. And that's the plot of the first film. Is there anything that you remember that I'm missing?
I don't remember anything. Uh,
You're so valid, Bestie.
I'm so sorry. This is all coming to me. Like now I want to rewatch it
No, I
because
do too. Now that we're bringing this up, um, so that brings us to the events of Smurfs 2 because the first one was a success.
I
So
get both of those just collided in my head. I forgot that those are separate films. I remember like the annoying brown-haired dude from
yeah,
the.
no, they feel like the same film more often than not. But so the whole thing, like, how in touch with Smurf lore are you?
Um, I just know like that that they're like clumsy, uh, uh, dummy. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think that's
so
real Smurf, but I just know that their names are like that.
Well, so in the second Smurfs movie, well, okay, so the lore is actually that Smurfette is not a natural Smurf. Gargamel actually made her and sent her into the village to infiltrate and like steal Smurf
I remember
essence for
like
him.
where like she changed into evil Smurfette. That's like
Yeah,
literal.
that was like a vision that was had at the start of Smurfs 2, I think,
Hmm.
where she's was afraid that she turned because the whole thing is the first film is mainly about Clumsy. I feel like he's the closest thing to a protagonist that movie has, uh, but the second film is about Smurfette more so, and she's feeling like she doesn't fit in. And so then Gargamel makes two more artificial Smurfs. I forget what their names are, some adjectives because it's always an adjective.
Yeah.
But he sends them from the real world to the Smurf village to kidnap Smurfette, and a different party goes from the from the village this time because the thing with the first film, right? The Smurfs movies also has OCs do not steal. I don't think I've mentioned that yet. There's like a character named Gutsy who's like Scottish, who's actually not a real
Mm.
Smurf, but they made him for the movies because they thought that would be fun, and it wasn't fun. But he's there. But
Mm.
they switch up who the party of Smurfs is, and then they head out into the real world again. But this time, the kind of cool thing they do with Gargoyle is a famous magician at this point. Um, like that's what he's been doing with his magic, which like good for him. Get that bread, you know. Um, but so Jacob Tremblay is born and gives a bad performance. No offense to him, he was a child, but he gave a bad performance. Um,
This is,
huh?
he had that was we wouldn't get that one Room movie that he was in
Yeah, no, we
without
would.
Smurfs
They
that started his career.
exactly. So and so the other concept, the human plot this time, right? Because they got their kid that exists in the world now. But Neil Patrick Harris has a dad, believe it or not, and his dad is extremely clumsy. Also, and keeps messing things up. And Gargoyle turns him into a duck at some point. That's a thing. I think he even says Affleck in the movie
Of course he does.
because you
That
gotta
was
make the
our
Affleck
only
joke.
idea.
I mean, when you're thinking Smurfs, you think Affleck. That's how life goes.
They just
Uh,
copy and pasted the first movie and then put two more characters. That's
Basically,
basically
yeah.
the movie.
And so for this one, they're trying. So Smurfs have been kidnapped. They're trying to retrieve her, and it kind of just develops into nothingness, like even more so than normal. And eventually, Starset's like, Papa Smurf can make you guys real Smurfs because it's like, I guess turning artificial things into real things is a concept in this film. Like it happened to her, but like, so they're like, oh my gosh, and eventually she does it to the. They do turn the other two ones human, and I think that's kind of where my thoughts on this film end because I forget what the whole end plot of Smurfs 2 is of all things. We are at the point where I'm looking up what they said was the end of Smurfs 2.
Mm.
Uh okay, so technically uh so technically
I can't get over how scary the Smurfs look. Like specifically their blue eyes. It's
who
terrifying.
yeah, no. Oh, the Smurfs are a dreadful little creature in these movies cuz they didn't have that Alvin and the Chipmunks technology when they were going through it. Because
Yeah.
the biggest thing with these films is it's knockoff Alvin and the Chipmunks, right? But like
Mm.
even with the worst that can be said about the Alvin and the Chipmunks films, I think there's a big heart to like at least the first one of those. I don't know. I don't think the
Yeah.
Alvin and the Chipmunks films, from what I remember, were that bad. We watched
I love the first one.
the first
I feel
one's
like that one was very heartfelt.
yeah, the first one's a lot of fun. The second one I don't remember much of. The third one we watched again this summer with two of my
Shipwrecked.
friends. Yeah, Chipwrecked.
Shipwrecked is a masterpiece. I
Chipwreck's
watched that so many times.
Chipwreck's the film that broke David Cross. Hey, where was Chipwrecked in your animated prequels video?
Oh, I should have added that.
Hey, where's SpongeBob? Sponged on the Run in your animated prequels video?
Well, I feel like. Oh wait, are we still recording?
Yeah, we are. I'm just making a bit. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
um.
Well, would you consider that a threequel? I feel like they're standalone movies.
Okay. Yeah. Fair.
If you think about it, like that's my excuse for why I didn't, even though I like showed a picture of it. But
Yeah.
I can't believe Alvin and the Chipmunks has 28% on Rotten Tomatoes. These people have no soul.
Dude, Alan the Chipmunks is the one where a lot of people have been more kind to it, I think, as things have gone on. Like,
Yeah.
that's the one that's aged gracefully more so. And then it's really funny with those films because the fourth film they decided to release the same weekend as Star Wars The Force Awakens.
Yeah, that's a smart idea.
I mean, naturally, when I pick myself a box office competitor, I pick Star Wars. It's
I mean, I would see Alvin and the Chipmunks first. Obviously, I could
understandable,
care less
understandable.
about Star Wars, but
The
not
road
the road trip though.
the
Like
road trip
the
is the
second
one of these
one
that I've never
and the
seen.
road trip. Yeah, I don't remember. I remember watching it for like a family dinner, but that's like it. I just know there was like a heavy dance scene in a bar or something.
Yeah,
And they were all, I don't know what it was.
right. Also, then they made like Smurfs: The Lost Village. I think that was the third Smurfs movie that's been made, because they're making the fourth film soon. But
Yeah.
the whole shtick is that it is with a third film, they discover a secret village of girl Smurfs, and Smurfette's like, "This is my people," and that's the whole thing with that one. I've not seen anything else of that. But yeah, how would you rate this mental recollection of this?
You made the movies sound good, and now I want to watch them. So I think
Okay,
that like you did a really good job. I think a
so
better job than you put more thought into like doing a lore recap than all of the movies writers combined.
I mean, yeah, no, I mean, like Sony did pay me well for this.
Exactly.
Like, all I'm saying, right? Smurfs 4 coming out this summer, May. This video's been sponsored by Rihanna.
Exactly. By the way, did you guys know Rihanna is in the new Smurfs? By the way, guys,
Wait, what?
did you know that? Did you know that Rihanna's in the new
No.
Smurfs? Like
You know this is the third singer to be playing Smurfette?
exactly. Like I honestly like I get it. Like I get this like celebrity casting is no no stranger. It's just weird that like with the Smurf movies that like that's all they use for like the
Yeah,
promo. It's like the plot's about to suck because we have not seen one. And they also the other weird promo for it is like they keep showing like there was like a like baseball game or like basket. I don't know whatever it was. It was like Nickelodeon. Yeah, it was like NFL. And there was a Smurf sneak peek, and they keep using that at promo, and it's like the worst promo ever because they're like they don't look good.
yeah, no,
It's like there's no way that's the finished version.
it's.
And so like why are they using that as promo? It's not the real designs.
I have one thing more to say about this situation, May, and I hope you understand. It's a Smurf eat Smurf world.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what you're gonna say?
Yeah, that's the term.
Okay, end the video. End the video right now.
Boom.